so many people, including myself, we leave this place after a Sunday and we're so encouraged and so rejuvenated, and we just want to spread that to as many people who will hear it, and those who can't be here today or any other Sunday. They want to see what they miss.
Hello, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
How's it going?
This is good. This is a great morning. I'm really glad to have Alex and Christine and Pradeep with me today. This is Trinity's media team joining us today for Trinity Talks, and we're going to be talking about media in ministry. Mm-hmm. Say that 3 times fast. I see you not wanting to try. Okay. No, this is going to be really exciting. So how are you guys doing on this Family Day weekend?
Oh, good.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great.
All right. I know that even when we're here on a Sunday, it breaks up our Family Day weekend. Do you guys have any plans for these 3 days?
I have some cousins in Uxbridge, so a bit of a drive from where I'm at now, but go hang out with some family there.
Nice.
It'll be
nice.
Like,
yeah, family on Family Day. Yeah. Relax.
Hang out with family.
Yeah.
So say my wife is not here. She's traveling. So I'm here with my kids and with some of my cousins. We may get together tomorrow. So, yeah.
Nice. So family on Family Day. Actually, I've got a bowling party planned with my parents.
Oh, so fun.
And my kids too. Yeah, we're going to go do that tomorrow. That's kind of our Family Day tradition. Well, I'm happy you're here with me today because we are going to be talking all about the importance, really, of media in ministry. And some people who may be watching or listening are really familiar with media and understand and know all about it. But there's probably a lot of people too who don't know as much about media and maybe even just the importance of the camera work and the sound and everything that goes into the media here at Trinity, and even the why behind it. So I'm hoping we can really dive into that today. Now, media has evolved here at Trinity too. I mean, for my time, I've seen a big change in the way we reach and communicate through our videos and through our socials. And I know that it's still ever evolving. So Alex, first of all, you're our media director here. So you know what's going on. Can you let us know what is media ministry at Trinity?
I don't know. The best way to describe it right now, I think, is like bringing our ministry here at Trinity outside of the 4 walls, I think. And media just really allows us to get past the restraints of a building and share that around the world. We have people all over that have been tuning in for a bit, and we hope to get more. And a lot about accessibility too. Some people, if they're not around Mississauga area, if they can't get out, and just reaching a younger audience that's online as well.
So much actually. There's a lot in there. So you come in on a Sunday morning, Alex, and you arrive about an hour or 2 before church starts.
Yes.
So what does a Sunday morning look like for you? And I'm asking this question because you're here on a Sunday morning. We often see Libby, we see Rob, we see a lot of our volunteers, but you're kind of hidden away in our media booth. And a lot of people probably don't see you and see the behind the scenes. We're going to talk to some of our volunteers as well about that. But what does it look like for you? Because you're busy. There's a lot going on.
I don't know. A lot of it, I mean, in media in general, a lot of it is problem solving for the most part. And that's the one constant, is that there's something that's going to happen that you got to fix. So putting out fires is a lot of it. So ideally, you don't notice things. I'm not going to point out, but if you're a keen-eyed listener and watcher here, there's a mistake that happened earlier in the service. Can you find it? Ooh.
All right.
If you're tuning in bright and early. But yeah, so I come in. I got to make sure all the studio here is all set up. Got to put mics in, make sure the cables are good, set up cameras. Lots of cameras get set up in the sanctuary, cables, all that whole thing. Then we got to make sure and test it and actually make sure it's actually going. Sometimes it's been had in the past where, cables left unplugged and then you try to go to that shot and it's not there. So trying out those preparing for the service is really important in that aspect, and then also kind of talking to the volunteers, making sure everybody knows what they're doing. If we need to change some things up, like today we have 2 camera operators, usually we have 3, so it's kind of shuffling around who goes where, and it's kind of managing that from the back, and then
Wow, that's a lot.
During the service, though, I'm up switching usually. So right now we have someone else that's doing the switching, because there's a interesting coordinating that had to get done here to make this happen. I'm glad I could be here.
Is on the other side of the camera today, so we need someone else there. So shout out to Jamie.
Yeah. So it's great to have people that are being trained, and we have another switcher in our midst over here. And so a lot of that's and during the service, a lot of switching, making sure everything you see online, all those cameras have to be switched, overseeing the audio, everything has to be working well for that.
Well, it's well done. And I just want to say that a recent survey I sent out to a lot of our online viewers, I got some feedback from a lot of people. And one thing that was sort of consistent from a lot of people was that they really feel immersed in the Sunday morning experience because of the camera work. And all three of you have done camera work. And I think that's really important. And so thank you for that. But what I'm wondering is led you to this role here at Trinity.
See, it's interesting actually, because like this role didn't really exist not that long ago. So pretty much COVID got a lot of churches online. And so I was already in the sphere. I was finishing up my school. I was doing some part-time editing for a church downtown. And then when Rob came to this church, he knew me from there and pulled me in. I started doing some stuff there. And then the role of like media director at a church is now a thing. And then so I was brought on full time. So I just enjoy being able to use a variety of my skills in this work environment, where like it's not just video, not just photo, but it's graphic design and audio, and just having that opportunity to have like a real purpose to it. A lot of times with video, like I've done lots of freelance video and stuff. It's great. I love covering events and like weddings and stuff, but it's nice to have like a big purpose and have a lot of people benefit from this. I don't know. It feels good to be in that position.
That's great. Now, Christine, you, unlike Alex, you're not here employed. You come in as a volunteer on Sunday mornings, and you're one of our more recent volunteers to the media team. So what brought you into wanting to help out on a Sunday morning in this way?
So I joined in the fall of 2023. So I've been here about half a year on the team, and the church was looking to expand to 2 services. So they were looking for additional volunteers, and we did that expansion in November. So it's just growing with the ministry of the church, and it's wonderful to be here.
Yeah, we're glad to have you on the team.
Thank you.
You do a great job. And Pradeep, yourself, you've been on the team for a little bit longer than 6 months, I believe.
Yeah, I've been here since the beginning. I think when Alex said, I'm sent out for volunteers. I signed up.
All right. Actually, Alex and I were talking about that just a few minutes before the show started, and we were trying to remember when the beginning was. When, do you know? Couple of years ago?
Yeah, it was, I think, at least 2 years. Yeah, 2023 sometime.
Yeah. All right. So a few years ago. And what led you to want to come and help out in this ministry on a Sunday morning?
One is to serve God. Another thing is to, I think it gives me an opportunity to get myself more involved with the church activities. Otherwise, just come in, listen to the sermon and go home, have a cup of coffee. But this is, you're more involved with the church.
Yeah. So
it gets to, allows you to grow. Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is through connecting other people to Trinity, you're finding connection as well.
Yes, definitely.
That's really nice. All right. So I actually wanted to talk a little bit about some biblical foundational reasons for the importance of media ministry as well. When I was going through some scripture quotes, I found a few that stood out to me that I thought really spoke to the need and the importance of media and communication in general in this way. So I'm just going to go through a few different biblical quotes, and maybe we can talk together about unpacking how media applies to those actual scriptures. So the first one I have is from Romans, and it's Romans 10:24-25. And Paul writes, "And let us consider how to stir up one another to love and do good works, not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near." So I hear the word stir up. So in what way does media help us, as biblically instructed, to continue to meet together and spur one another on in love?
I think, I don't know, one of the things that came to mind with that, kind of like stirring up, is that a lot of our time now, especially younger generations too, but everybody's time now is spent online, and so we're constantly engaging with the content and whatnot. And so if we need to have that sort of place in there where we kind of stir up the conversation, and we provide the message to the people as a part of their routine online. So we need to be there to just give that input and just share the message that way. What do you guys think?
Yeah. So many people, including myself, we leave this place after a Sunday and we're so encouraged and so rejuvenated, and we just want to spread that to as many people who will hear it, and those who can't be here today or any other Sunday. They want to see what they missed.
Yeah.
And hear the specific biblical teaching that we can use in our daily life. So many people are looking for peace and joy. And if you are here listening online or coming in person, you can get that. And that's just so exciting.
It is. It really is. One thing I'm not sure we do have a podcast. So this is taken and put on audio into the podcast. And we have listeners across the world who download our podcast. That's one thing I love, is looking at where this word is spreading. So we've got countries in Europe and Asia and Africa that have all downloaded our content, which is great. That's really fun.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, right, every week we have a small group. We get together and discuss the sermon. Sometimes, like when you miss the service, or or probably you didn't catch it, you can always go back and go through that. And also, when we discuss the topic, the sermon, and the previous service, it can sometimes it helps us to go back and check and reflect on it. So yeah,
that's a really good point. We do, like you said, we keep all of our live streams up online. We also just have the sermon itself on YouTube. So if that is something you want to go back and listen to again, it's actually quite easy to do that through YouTube now. So
I have done it before myself.
Yeah. Likewise.
And we're almost at 1,000 subscribers. So if you're out there, you should hit the subscribe button.
I've always wanted to say that. Smash that subscribe. That's what my kids say. So another scriptural passage is at the end of the gospel. Let's go with Matthew, where we find the Great Commission, and Jesus commands his disciples to go out and make disciples of all men. And how in media are we living out that Great Commission? I mean, that feels kind of weighty when we say that. But how can our media here at Trinity really help Trinity to live out that Great Commission?
I mean, I think because we have access to the resources that allow us to do this, like, we're obligated to bring that message online as well. And like, it's such a big role now too, where even if you're church shopping, you're going around, a lot of people will check online. So having that access where it's easier to find a place that resonates with you is kind of important. You want to be able to feel welcomed. And that was one of the first things that I felt when I came here. I felt like super welcomed by everybody. And I think whatever makes it easier to find a community that you resonate with is really important.
Yeah. Again, this place just brings me so much joy. And sometimes I'm talking to a friend or a relative and they're going through something, and I have something in my back pocket, which is the sermon, and I can forward it to them and say, listen to this, you need this will help you. So
it's a tool beyond a Sunday morning.
Yeah, it's though even though I don't directly, I'm not communicating, but I'm kind of facilitating it, right? So that kind of it becomes makes me part of that process. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it really is true, which leads me to my last scriptural point here is in 1 Corinthians 27. Paul explains that we are all the body of Christ. So everyone has a role to play in the greater church and in the greater body of Christ. So like you said, you may not be on the screen delivering the message, but you have a role to play in how that message is delivered.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So how do you see yourselves fitting into that larger body through media ministry? Consider your gifts. And this is, I think this is a time to. Well, one thing, Christine, I know you mentioned that you work in art.
I do.
Right. So you don't work necessarily in media, but you have an artistic eye.
I love taking that perfect picture. And if we're just outside of the church, if we're doing something as a family or with friends, I'm always the one who's taking pictures in there. Just like, send it to me.
Yeah. So
yeah.
you have that special gift, is getting a good shot.
And a very quick learner, might I say, and eager to try so many roles. It's actually amazing to have such great volunteers here.
Yeah, it's fun to learn what I don't know. Absolutely. And Alex is a great teacher.
Yeah.
So.
And like not everybody has that too. A lot of people can be scared away. So if you ever feel like I can do this thing, it's I don't know, I feel like it's fulfilling to be able to use those gifts, knowing that you're in a position that's kind of special and not everybody has those. So it's nice to be able to use those for
What do you think you bring to this, Pradeep?
I don't know.
I know commitment is one, because to have a volunteer at a church that's been committed to one ministry for this long is a beautiful gift in itself.
Like I said, it gives me, I don't know, I think it gives me a push to come to the church, be involved. So and it's like Alex said, it is fulfilling,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's well needed. I'm glad. I can always count on Pradeep to come in whenever we need. So yeah.
And Alex, for yourself, so how do your passions and your expertise even contribute to this ministry here?
I mean, I just feel like the talents are kind of well used in this environment, I think, right? Like, for the time that I'm going to be here, it's really great to have that opportunity. There's so many different roles here that need tending to, and it's I like being in that position where I can learn myself, but also offer up that final product and what we've been talking about too, just like what's online, just being a part of that process. It's I don't know, I enjoy that. So yeah.
Nice. And I think we'd be amiss, guys. We are talking about media and ministry, but media extends beyond the church, guys, right? Yeah. So I just need to ask you a question about some of your favorite pieces of media that you have had throughout the year. They didn't know I was going to ask this question, but I just think it might be fun for the audience to learn a little bit about you and some of your favorites when I'm going to ask them. So in terms of movies, do you guys have a favorite movie that you watch? Which one do you go back to time again? They're thinking about it. I'll tell you, mine's Titanic. Titanic. I can't get enough.
I think the movie changes all the time. I think like I hadn't watched, for whatever reason, like Narnia in forever, and then the other day I was like, I could just watch Narnia, and I was like, wow, I totally forgot that I actually love these movies. So yeah, but it definitely changes based on what I'm just basically binging at that point.
Right. Okay.
For me, like Alex said, it kind of changes depending on the mood, depending on the circumstance. But one thing that is kind of been constant is like the Christmas movies, like Home Alone. Right. That's a good laugh to watch.
It's
with the
a good laugh. It's true. What about you, Christine? I see you deep in thought.
Yeah, because I can't remember the name of the movie that I just watched. It's not one that I watched over and over again, but my husband told me, you would really like this and you should watch it. And it was a movie about a football player who... Do you know it?
I forget the name, but I'm sure I've seen it. Yeah,
I'm sensing some telepathy here because there are several football player movies out there.
So yeah, he's one who just had life struggles. And
The Blind Side.
No, it's not The Blind Side.
No.
That was the one you were thinking about. Anyways,
all right. Well, we'll come up with it, and we're going to post it on our feed underneath the YouTube. So we'll come up with it once Christine comes up with it.
I definitely watch more TV shows, though.
All right. So what's your favorite TV show, guys?
I think for me, it would have to be Breaking Bad. The whole thing was just so well done. It's incredible, the detail there. Like every aspect of that show was just so well thought out. The storyline, insane. Yeah.
I might actually agree with you. That's probably one of my all-time favorites. And did you ever do the Better Call Saul?
Yeah, watch Better Call Saul, El Camino. Got it all done.
They're all great.
Yeah, definitely binge-worthy show for sure. Dangerously binge-worthy.
Well done. Yeah, it's good. Do you guys have any favorites, TV shows?
I don't watch that many TV shows. I watch more of the YouTube videos, things like that. you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I like to watch comedy, but I'm from like old school. I don't know whether you heard about a show called According to Jim.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, pretty.
All right. Well, we'll put a link to According to Jim on the bottom of this feed as well. Well, I just wanted to say thank you to all three of you for joining me and actually coming in front of the camera instead of being behind the camera. I hope to actually have you in front of the camera again sometime because it's been a pleasure.
It's wild to be actually in the studio right now.
I
After
know.
all the setup it's taken to get here, it's been a long road, but here we are.
But here we are, and it's I know it's just the beginning of something even bigger and better. Yeah. So thank you to everyone who watched and who hopefully learned a little bit more about the media ministry here at Trinity.